Welcome back to Trends, presented in partnership with Travel Daily News. For this episode, I'm in conversation with Boyang Shen, CEO and founder of Glopen in China. We're at IT&CMA and CTW, and you are watching Trends. Hello, Boyang. Now, discover real China while connecting with the world. Tell us about Glopen.
Sure. Thanks a lot, David. Discover the real China, connecting world. That is our vision. And ever since I founded the company, we've always been focusing on that vision. And no matter how our business has actually evolved over the last couple of years. So, after I left the corporate world, I started my own company. But at the beginning, I just wanted to introduce China to the rest of the world. And I started my own YouTube channel, became a YouTuber. And I was introducing different places from culture, lifestyle, how daily people live in China, and as well as business. And after that, we got some customers asking us, can we help them to enter the Chinese market? Can we help them to source products from China? And that's where we started really having a business. But, as we continued on that business journey, it was very difficult to explain to people that has never been to China, that has never set foot on mainland China, to really understand what we are talking about, because the technology, the daily lives, and the culture are very different, right? So that's when we started setting up our own travel agency, got the travel agency license in China, and where we started having more and more customers. One of our first customers was coming from Germany. It's actually a Chinese company, a huge Chinese company, but they wanted to bring German students, 30, 40 German students to come to China. It was their first experience of China for 3 weeks, and we really wowed them, and we helped them to understand and visit the live stream rooms in China and understand how TikTok Shop works. We give them a tool to find TikTok influencers as well as products on TikTok that they can sell. And by making that connection, they really understand. So it was business, but also educational, helping people to understand China better. And to sum it up, at the moment, we are focusing on business as well as culture immersive tours, which means that we serve different customers, from the MICE organizers to travel agencies, educational institutions, as well as FIT. So we really want to help people to understand China from a business as well as a cultural perspective.
And where would your customer base be? Is it Europe? Is it America? Is it all over the world?
We definitely welcome everyone coming to China, so we don't really have a very strong focus in terms of our marketing or where we want to promote ourselves. But on the other hand side, we do see a lot of customers coming from Europe, some coming from America as well, also a lot coming from Southeast Asia. So these are a couple of markets, but as we have a very unique value proposition, we get a lot of requests coming from other markets. Like recently, last few weeks, I think it was 2 weeks ago, China announced the visa-free policy for Russians. So we see a lot of Russian requests coming in the last 2 weeks. And over the last 1 year, we had a lot of more Japanese and Korean customers coming to Shanghai just during the weekends, because the flight was so frequent and it's not too far away. And they also have visa-free policies.
What are the popular destinations? Because China is so vast and so rich. What are your top 3 destinations at the moment?
I would say Beijing for the culture and the history. Of course, it's the political center. And then it's Xi'an, because of the Terracotta Army. A lot of people want to visit Xi'an because of very rich history. It has over thousands of years of history, and there's a lot of things that you can really see there. All right, and it's a very, I would say, a touristy city, because wherever you walk around the city, you see travel agencies all over the place, and they are very good at doing shows. Every night there are more than 100 shows that are on performance in Xi'an. Okay, that's the second. And then it's Shanghai. Shanghai because of its modern skyline, because of the Bund, and it also has this blend between the European side of the Bund as well as Lujiazui, the financial center that is, having the Shanghai Tower, which is the third highest tower in the world. So, yeah, those are the three cities that is, I would say, on top of the list. But I would also recommend people to also visit, smaller cities that really represent China and the natural sceneries, because there are so many things that we can offer at different price levels, at different, experiences. We do a lot of business tours. For example, we encourage people, if they're interested in technology, we'll invite them to Shenzhen, for example, where Tencent, BYD, Huawei, DJI, they're all founded there. And
how can they engage with those brands? Can you do like a factory visit, a tour?
yeah, so for example, for DJI, we'll do a visit to their flagship store, and they have an experience center, and you can fly the drones on your own, and you can experience it. One thing that we embedded into is see how the daily lives are. For example, you look at the drones, we bring the customers to Lianhuashan Park. And in that park, you see people just enjoying themselves in the park, but we bring them to a specific place operated by Meituan. You go to the Meituan app, you order a drink from Starbucks or order a snack from KFC, and then within 20 minutes, it will be delivered by a drone to you. And this is the kind of experience that we want to show to our customers.
Any other unusual experiences that we could expect from Glopen?
We have a lot as well. For example, in Shanghai, and this is very new, since I think it's only about 2-3 months. Since 2-3 months, we have the robot taxis, similar to the ones that Tesla has on the American roads.
Yes.
Right? But in China, there are 3 companies that are majorly operating their robot taxis in China. And in Shanghai, in Pudong, there is one area, and we already had 2-3 customers that has already experienced this since I think it was just about 2-3 months ago. And it's a robot taxi, fully automated. There are no safety drivers, because when I say it's new, because since the last 2-3 years, there has always been the robot taxis, but with the safety driver behind the wheel. And ever since the last 2-3 months ago, I think, after the WAIC conference, there are no safety drivers. So this really wows our customers. Even if it's just a 10-minute ride, they will really experience it. And this is things that we really love to showcase to our customers. And on the culture side, we also bring in a lot of innovative things. For example, we take the idea of the blind tasting of wine, and we do the blind tasting for tea, for Chinese tea. We give the customers 6 different types of tea. We explain to them where they are produced, how they are harvested, how they should be served. And after explaining all of it, after tasting all of the 6 different teas, we'll mix them, and then we'll serve them again. And we'll ask the customer to guess which one is green tea, which one is oolong tea, etc. So this is a fun and interactive experience that we really want to help people to immerse themselves and really get into the daily lives, and not only just coming to China, take some photos, and then they leave without a souvenir at hand. For us, the most important thing is that they have the memory, and ideally they will handcraft their own souvenir while they're in China, and they leave with that in hand.
Very good. Now, I always ask this question, the big S word, sustainability. Are your customers demanding sustainable solutions, or is it just a talking point and doesn't really influence bookings?
I think from our side, I would say from the customer's perspective, we talk mostly about the price. But when we consider the tour, we need to think about sustainability. And when we talk about sustainability, I think the starting point is to understand the customer and understand the cultural differences. I give a concrete example, right? When we have customers in China from a traditional Chinese culture perspective, we always need to prepare more food than really is needed. Because at the end of the dining experience, if the table is empty, they will say that it's not a good hospitality. You have not been a good host, right? But in Western culture, it's not necessary.
We think it's wasteful.
You would expect that, you ordered, more or less the amount that you needed. And this goes not only for corporate travels, for groups, but also for MICE events, for gala dinners as well. When you understand the customer, when you, let's say, understand the culture differences, when you have good communication between the customer, us, and the hotel, right? Then we can prepare the exact amount of food, or more or less the exact amount of food that is really needed for that evening, so that we don't have much waste. And that also goes into the itinerary of the design of the tour, so that we save the customer's time, but also we don't travel to places that are unnecessary. And we also use a lot about the public train system, the bullet train in China, so that the customer at the same time they can experience the latest technology when they travel on a bullet train for 350 kilometers per hour, and it's part of the experience.
As Glopen is a dynamic startup, you're quite new, a player in the industry, and your history comes from being a YouTuber, an influencer. So does digital content impact your business and is a driver of you securing business for MICE?
Yes, as you mentioned, being a YouTuber, it's not actually bringing a lot of customers directly, but it creates the trust, it creates the awareness, and potentially it helps us a lot to explain to our customers what we actually provide. This is the most important element, because it's really difficult to explain to you what is a palace banquet in China. Right. If I tell you it's a palace banquet, most of the people will say, what is that, right? So instead of, sending a lot of emails, we just send them a video link on YouTube. And this is, our own production, our own video. We, as our host, and another guest that is invited, which is a British girl that is living in China, but is also her first experience in a palace banquet. So that, we have the Chinese explanation, but also have a, let's say, foreigner that experienced that firsthand, so that we can easily explain to our customer what they can expect. They need to do the makeup. They can do the makeup, as well as they will have a fine dining experience while watching a performance.
That is fantastic. I've been preaching to DMCs, destination management companies in Bangkok, that they need to leverage the power of video more. But I don't think they're listening, because they're getting business from traditional channels. And you are doing that. You're really working those digital channels.
Yeah.
And instead of sending out a 1,000-word description, it's all there on video. Fantastic.
I think it's really helping us to engage with the customer, to help them to really understand. And sometimes our customers, especially from MICE, because they need to make sure that the venue is perfect, right? And the performance is perfect. Sometimes they do ask us for pictures and videos as well. So when we send our own production video, it adds more credibility to it.
Exactly. If I was looking at a venue and I wasn't too sure about it, would you then commission a walkthrough video of that venue for me?
Yes. So for MICE customers, we sometimes we do go there and do our video ourselves, but sometimes it's really unnecessary. Why? Because we know the facility, or we can just communicate. It's all about communication, because Chinese venues, hotels, they are very eager to do business. You just, very simple, you just send them a text message, say, film the venue for me, for a 1 minute video, and send it to me. Or sometimes they have their official video, but sometimes I say, do a new video, or let's say do a realistic video, because the commercial video or the advertisement that they have sometimes is a little bit overselling, and of course they are very beautifully done and they're very beautifully edited, but I want to see the real thing, right? Because then we have the very realistic image, because we have to be honest, we have not been to every single venue in China or every single hotel in China. So it's impossible for us to have all of this in hand, but it's all about communication, understanding what the customer wants, finding the right places, and then making sure that these places meet the requirements of the customers. And it can be on budget, it can be luxury, it can also be very special only for that customer.
Boyang, thank you so much for meeting with us today at the Trends Pop-Up Studio at IT&CMA and CTW 2025. Keep up the great work. You are really at the cutting edge of destination management, leveraging all these digital tools. I'm impressed. It's brilliant. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thank you, David, for having me. It was a great pleasure talking to you, and hoping that we can bring more and more customers to China and show the different sides of China, not only from a business, technology, but also the culture, the history, as well as helping students, educational institutions to really bring their customers to China as well.
I just have to add this on. How do we find you? How do we get in contact with Glopen?
Yeah, so we have our official website, Glopen, www.gl-open.com, which is our official website, but we are also on all social media platforms, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, also the Chinese social media platforms like WeChat, like the Red, etc.
If you're a corporate meeting planner and you're looking to visit China, check out Glopen online. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. It was a great pleasure.